Marathon keeps failing in the most hilarious ways possible. Did you know that it's peak pinnacle content that Bungie asked that the reviewers and journalists and whatnot don't give a final score to the game until it drops because that's gonna change everything. Well, turns out it dropped yesterday. Yes, if you did not know, same. I knew it's happening sometime soon, but I did not know it's happening yesterday. But the good part is, look at these numbers. Look at these numbers, boys. No one knew it's gonna happen. It dropped on a Friday, and honestly, didn't even do that bad. 56.7k players. Honestly, not the worst I have ever seen in my life. Stupid camera, what's wrong with you? Well, what are you doing? Come on, do the thing, stupid camera. In any case, not honestly that bad. And, well, the Sunday then rolled around and it was actually a travesty. This is really bad. Now, these numbers are really bad. Now, granted, the fact that your super pinnacle content drops and literally no one cares. Literally, this ends up being, what, 8.5k extra players from the Thursday's peak? That is abysmal. That is pretty bad. And the drop-off for Monday probably is going to be absolutely massive, and that's the one that we are really looking forward to see. The ratio is still going down in the past. When did we talk the last time about Marathon? Was it 2 days ago or something? It has dropped almost 1% in the review score, which means the average person is actually playing Marathon and they don't think it's good. And the fact that it's dropping this low means that there's not a lot of new people coming inside the game, which is a bad thing for Bungie. Again, this thing was supposed to clear Destiny, and I mean, we're literally talking about a game that's not even close, not even absolutely close to the numbers that Destiny used to pull. Look at this, 316 all-time peak. Oof, and Marathon is not doing anything even close to that. The average players are currently pretty stable below 50k at this point, but I mean, the last time we talked about this, Marathon also was starting to dip 5+% per day, which means, yeah, it's not gonna be that long until Marathon has no players left. So, you know, at this point, we're still looking at like 1, 2, maybe 3 months, and the game is gonna be more or less dead. The talk about Marathon is pretty non-existent. There is, admittedly, one thing that's happening. We actually have someone who unironically does seem to like Marathon, and it is Shroud. Okay, it is Shroud.
Update's good, and this Cryo Archive shit is insane. It's the most elaborate extraction shooter map I've ever seen in a game ever. It's the loop that they made is truly something special. The problem is it too elaborate? Is it too complex? Is it too much of a grind? Is your 9 to 5 grandma and grandpa going to be able to do it?
What are we bringing? I have 3.
Yes. So the Cryo Archive is supposed to not be that bad, but over-designed things are also pretty bad most of the time, at least. It's very easy to fall in the pitfall of over-designing something, and that kind of tends to ruin it. And Marathon is definitely one of those things that is probably going to be over-designed. Because let's face it, from the small amount of what exists in Marathon, the things that you see are mostly over-designed. But that is Shroud. Unironically, someone who seems to unironically enjoy Marathon. Good for him. Now, granted, would I actually trust Shroud on any of these decisions? No. Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? This is the guy who wanted Arc Raiders to win Game of the Year because the multiplayer shooter community never gets anything. And because there's no way Arc Raiders is not better than Expedition 33, which then he played and admitted is better. But that's a different story. It's pretty funny. But I do trust that Shroud is actually having fun. I don't think he's lying because I don't think he cares to lie, honestly. But everything can happen, right? And then we have this. Our boy Astros. I personally think this is the deepest, most meaningful take, honestly, ever given on Marathon.
I'll tell you what, Marathon community. You guys have obviously not been told to lick someone's asshole enough. But don't worry. In due time, you'll know.
What was the point of that? No clue. Was there any deeper context or meaning behind it? Probably, but it's honestly funnier if we don't honestly know what it was, and we keep it a mystery. But considering Marathon is still the literal vague post the game type of thing, I do think it's more on point if we keep it as vague as possible. Because, man, at some point, Bungie's going to have to create changes to Marathon, how the game plays and whatnot. At some point, Bungie is going to have to actually add real lore to Marathon, not a bunch of shitty vague posts. And I can't wait for that, because that's when the hammer will truly drop and Marathon is going to self-implode hard. Because Marathon's lore is currently interesting because it's a giant vague post. You have no idea what's happening, why it's happening, you just know that something happened. And honestly, that was the only thing that even made people think that Starfield's lore has a shot at being good because of House Maroon, because that shit was also the pinnacle of vague posting. But then the talentless people at Bethesda, and I have no doubt the talentless people at Bungie will do the same thing, aka try to fill in the gaps and explain what's happening. And that's when all of the people who didn't think Marathon was a disaster before will probably start thinking it's a disaster, because there's no world where Bungie ever makes a good story again. Can they make shooting mechanics? Yes. Will they be ever able to make anything other than Lightfall again? Probably no. Probably no. Again, they literally... The final shape was literally the jailer. It's funny how so many games honestly have stolen the Shadowlands from World of Warcraft. It's fucking hilarious. Bungie stole their antagonist. Elder Scrolls Online stole fucking Torghast of all unholy things that people hated. And here we are. And now Bungie hopefully is gonna steal something else from Shadowlands, which would be even more hilarious. Obviously, there is not currently a lot of talk about Marathon or anything. If you look at what's happening on Twitter, no clips are going viral. Pretty much nothing, honestly, is happening with Marathon. It's just a bunch of nothing. Here we go. This is literally the most popular thing. Then there's the ninja thing that we saw, and, well, then there's this again, and it's 5k views. There's nothing. There's nothing. Marathon has no clips. Marathon has no memes. Marathon has no hype. The people playing this probably unironically think that Marathon is a good game. That's not a lot of people, honestly, from a AAA developer that, should have had hundreds of thousands of players playing the game. But at the end of the day, it is how it is. It's going to be very interesting to see the Monday, because the fall is going to be probably tremendous. Because, I mean, literally, we're talking about Friday hitting a peak of 56.7k. And then, fucking Saturday hitting a peak of 53.5. That's 4k, is it? No, it's not. That's 3k lower. That's 3k lower. And a Friday. Friday's supposed to be the warm-up, when people know life. And Saturday is gonna be the real deal. If today this does not go to like 55k at least, the Monday drop is gonna be horrible. And that's what we're definitely gonna also be checking out, because I'm very interested to see how it goes. So, we're just kind of waiting for the Monday drop essentially here at this point. And, well, we're gonna see it to believe it, boys. In any case, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.